did decide to put on a suit and tie in honor of all the job interviews I didn't go on. Our initial goal was to apply for 1,000 jobs. After a double count and a recount, we ended up applying for 1,003. I always say it's better to be a little bit long. Probably.
That's what she said. Okay, fuck. I'm thinking. I want to say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers. If you want to help out the channel, support me on Patreon at Crimson60620 and on Twitch at Crimson620. Thank you for your support, and please enjoy the video. What you guys kept hearing about and keep hearing about right now is that nobody wants to work. You see hundreds of video segments from different little news channels and mainstream media about how nobody wants to work. I can't get my restaurant filled. Nobody wants to do these jobs, and people are just sitting at home lazy on unemployment. No, you stupid fucks. Nobody wants to work for menial ass jobs making meager ass wages. Hello, Applebee's. And so when you have, and I've done a story about this before, about people who have done amazing steps of trying to apply for jobs. Well, here, let this guy tell his own story. Let's go.
I decided to apply for 1,000 jobs because I keep hearing that the job market is broken. Well, let's find out how bad it really is.
Where have all the workers gone?
Labor is scarce right now.
So I think I'm going to apply for these jobs using fictional names. Now, in the 2005 book, Freakonomics, they talked about applying for jobs using the same resumes with different names at the top.
I've heard of Freakonomics, and I forgot who wrote it, but I've heard mixed reviews of it. Let's go.
And in their words, a white-sounding name and a black-sounding name. So I pulled the names Tanner and Demetrius from their list, and those are going to be the names I used to apply for the jobs. I'll be applying with the same exact resumes, just changing the names at the top. Now, since it's been so long since I've done my own resume, I'm going to buy a template from Etsy. Okay.
Oh, God, I've heard this is bad. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so the main issue I'm having with this is that almost every template I'm seeing has some sort of objective statement or profile section, so I may just have to get one and delete that. I'm no resume expert, but I've always thought those sections were kind of pointless and silly. So it says here your objective is to become a master at taxidermy. So you applied for an accounting job. You do know there's a big difference between taxidermy and taxes, right?
Okay. And ironically, some people would actually say that shit and believe that shit. Okay, let's go.
Oh yeah, no, just skip that. I was literally just too lazy to put in the title of this job. So in my opinion, the best case scenario is it gives no information. Being that I'm gonna be applying for 1,000 jobs, I wanna do as little customization as possible. Okay, so I ended up buying and filling out a couple resumes here, and I must say, I think we got a couple winners. Now, I'll be the first to admit, filling out resumes was a bit more challenging than I expected. That said, I've filled these out based on the way I would like to see them as a potential employer. So I've got these two different resumes, and I think I'm going to do a total of 2 different versions of each one. One where the candidate is expecting to graduate from college in the next few months, and another where our candidate never went to college and just has a high school diploma.
Wait. He's doing the resume tests. Oh, wow. Fuck. Oh, wow. I remember that, like, recently I'm in a video I did where I said I'm glad I have a non-black sounding name because of resume. This shit is gonna be different. Okay. Let's go.
So when all is said and done, we're gonna have 4 resumes. Each resume is gonna have a college and a high school version, and we're gonna swap out the names Demetrius and Tanner on each one. As far as work experience goes, I'm gonna have one version with a well-known retailer. The other is gonna be a well-known and well-respected restaurant chain. Now to keep track of all the responses, I set up a new email address and a new phone number for each resume for each of our candidates. It took a lot of work, but we're ready to apply for jobs.
Whoa.
So this application is asking for a joke. How about, I don't really know how to say this to you, but Worcestershire. Okay, here's one. Do you speak Spanish?
Wait, day 8, 592 resumes? Oh my God, that, my brain hurts. Okay, like, a lot of quick replies, yeah. But like, damn it, 592. How do you find that many jobs? Okay.
I'll say yes, and in parentheses, C, which if you didn't know is Spanish for sure. So the way that I'm actually applying for all these jobs is one of two methods. First, I took a list of the S&P 500 companies, so 500 of the largest companies in the US, and I just go to their career site and you look for entry-level jobs. The next way is I'm going to career websites like Indeed, Career Builder, and I'm searching for entry-level jobs on there. I find companies and positions through there and then go directly to their websites.
All right, so which is smart to do. I understand it's easy to do the one-click button, but it always is beneficial. That's how I actually got my current job. I actually saw it online, and then I went to the website and set up notifications. But let's go.
In my own experience, when I've received applications, it always meant a lot more if they went directly to our website as opposed to a job board.
Yeah.
And with this click here, I believe that is job application 1000. That took quite a bit longer than I expected. The worst part of the process is you upload a resume and then not having to refill all the information in. But when the system attempts to upload your information into the fields, but does it incorrectly, and then you have to go back and delete all that information and then re-add it again. The second worst is assessment test. Instead of taking 2 or 3 minutes to apply for a job, you do an assessment test and you're talking 15, sometimes 20 minutes.
Yeah, those assessment tests are crap. All right, but he's putting in a lot of work to try to find a job. Let's see what it gets.
To apply for a job. The first few were like a little bit fun, but after 2 or 3, they were just brutal. Now, one thing that was surprising in this whole process is, you know, the old meme of entry-level job requires 3 to 5 years experience. Well, I didn't track it for all 1,000 jobs, but I did take a sample of 50 of the jobs that I applied for. Of those 50, 21 of the jobs specifically said, either in the job title or in the job description, that they were an entry-level position.
Okay. Okay. So, please don't. Is that a joke? Is that a okay, I'm done. Okay, let's go.
Of those 21, only 2 specifically said that they required experience. Another 6 said something about experience preferred. The rest of those 21 didn't say anything about experience required, experience preferred, and some even advertised that no experience was required. So I think the meme is kind of true to an extent, but gets a bit exaggerated more than reality. Though I did hear about a company one time asking for 10 years of experience in a programming language that had only been around for 7 years. I don't know if that...
Wait, you're telling me that people who hire people don't know the actual business that they're hiring people for? Yeah, no, I can believe that shit. Let's go.
It's true or not, but it's pretty funny. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the results. I did decide to put on a suit and tie in honor of all the job interviews I didn't go on. Our initial goal was to apply for 1,000 jobs. After a double count and a recount, we ended up applying for 1,003. I always say it's better to be a little bit long. Probably.
That's what she said. Okay, fuck. I'm taking this shit, like, this is actually an interesting video. Let's go.
Nobody's surprised. Not all jobs out there are valid and currently open. In fact, I called one pizza company about a job that had been out there for 6 months. Here's what they said.
How may I help you?
I was looking online and I saw that you guys have an opening for a pizza maker. Is that job still open?
No, we're actually only hiring drivers now.
Oh, okay. I saw it had been out there for 6 months, and so that one's not available. Just drivers?
Nope, not anymore.
So, like, this is really fucking unbelievable. You may be putting a job out there not knowing how long it's been open, and they probably already filled it. Okay.
Because of this, I tried to limit my job search to jobs that had been posted recently and really tried to find jobs that were offering $15 an hour or higher. With that said, 62% of the jobs applied for had some sort of wage, the average wage being $17.36. And I came up with this number by taking the low end of the range. So if a job was listing $15 to $17 per hour, I would take the $15 per hour number and use that in the calculation. For jobs that listed an annual salary, I calculated the comparable hourly wage. Now, with that said, across the 1,003 job applications, we received a total of 259 interview requests. We also had 47 flat out rejected.
But that's still like just about 25%. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I wonder where those numbers broke down. Let's go.
We received a total of 259 interview requests. passed. We also got 47 flat-out rejections. In addition to all of that, we got 87 calls where they didn't leave a message and I wasn't sure where the call came from. If we assumed all of those calls were to set up an interview, that would push our return rate to 35%.
Okay.
I decided to throw those out though because even on the first day that we had the number set up, I was already receiving spam calls. So net, that leaves us with around 650 jobs with no response. Now I'm sure some of those are like the pizza job and no longer valid, but obviously we're going on about 10 days now. If you haven't called us back yet, you probably...
But people don't want to work. They're not hiring, even though you may be getting tons of fucking resumes or applications. But no, people don't want to work. Yeah, let's go.
Not that thirsty for employees. I'm married now, but back in my dating days, if a girl hadn't called back in 10 days... Now, when you compare resume A versus resume B did quite a bit better. In fact, of the applications where I used resume A, regardless of college, high school, or whose name was on top of it, resume A received a response rate of 22%. You compare that to resume B, and it got a response rate of around 30%. I'm not sure if it was the content, the layout. I'm not sure what the difference was. I tried to make them really comparable, so I was a little surprised at the difference. College versus high school was also pretty interesting. Again, same resumes, just changed the education section. And keep in mind that I only applied for jobs that I thought we were qualified for. So if a job required a college degree, I would apply for it with the college resume, but I would skip those with the high school resume. When it comes to response rate on the applications where I used the resume where we were just about to graduate from college, got a response rate of around 22.4%. Now, the high school resume received a response rate of about 35%. And the first reaction may be as well, does it actually hurt you to have a college degree in the labor market? I think there's a couple reasons for why those two may be pretty different. For one, with the college resume, I was applying for a little bit higher quality jobs. A lot of these jobs are...
Okay, so yes, if you actually are looking for entry levels and not paying much, then yeah, of course you want a high school resume. Okay, let's go.
Required a bachelor's degree, so they're probably a little bit more competitive. But I think what might have been even more impactful than that, though, was with the college resume, we were expected to graduate in about 3 months. Whereas the high school resume, we had already graduated. That means that employers that couldn't wait an additional 3 months might have skipped over the college application. So now when it comes to using Demetrius versus Tanner, again, same resumes on everything else, we just swapped out the names. In total, Tanner got a response rate of around 25%, and Demetrius had a response rate of about 26%. Statistically, I think they were basically the same. And when you look at high school versus college, the two were basically the same there as well. Demetrius got just a little bit better response rate than Tanner. Now, if I really wanted to test out this name theory, I would probably do very similar resumes and send them all into the same company. The main purpose of this exercise was to get a sense of what the general labor market is like. So I intentionally tried to avoid using multiple resumes to apply for the same job at the same company. I was concerned that multiple resumes may tip off an employer and they might throw out our applications altogether.
Some of these HR people aren't the brightest in the world.
And thus throwing off or skewing our stats. That said, there were 8 jobs where I sent in a resume for both people, and I didn't receive a response back on any of the 8. So I think my takeaway here is that the entry-level job market seems to be pretty strong, at least at the time of this video. Getting an interview request back on a third of the applications sent in, that's pretty good, I think. Now, how many of those would have turned into actual jobs? I mean, we'll never know. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you're gonna like.
All right, so, that's an interesting video. Wasn't much that I can actually disagree with. This is surprisingly a video I'm not talking much shit about. And yeah, no, this is actually an interesting experiment. It just took 14 days to fill out 1,000 applications. Even when I was in my direst unemployment, no, fuck that. 1,000 applications? Fuck. 1,003 applications. Wow. So yeah, check out this guy's channel. Maybe he can actually have some good points. I'm gonna actually check out some of his videos in my spare time. But anyway, it goes. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. Like, share, subscribe, all that other good shit. And yeah, we're gonna cut this shit off.
If I gave myself the power, where would I be? Was I